Next, Evan.
The so-called Great Park is a failure of leadership so catastrophic that Irvine's going to suffer the consequences, the financial consequences for decades. $250 million with a B. For what? Every elected official and city administrator responsible for this process is on the hook, either gross incompetence or outright corruption, or both, are the only explanations for this horrendous disaster that I can think of.
The Western Sector Park Development is featured here. This is the entire 230-acre activation component. The next slide will indicate the Western Sector Park Development Plan, which is just concluded in September of this year. And that's an indicator of the most active space, not including our urban agriculture, which we'll talk about a little bit later. In the upper left-hand corner there, you'll see some facilities that are a part of the Park Design Review that are anticipated or proposed facilities not yet built. If you look in the lower right-hand corner, you'll see the south lawn, the north lawn, and moving up into the upper right-hand corner, you'll see the Palm Court Arts Complex, the festival site. Those are all representative of the 76 acres indicated by 5 Point Communities in their presentation, which is our final construction elements. Next slide. I'm going to take you through some pictures of what the park's looking like today. This is a current view of the Great Park features that we've developed and constructed. In the upper corner there, you see some of the urban agriculture. In the lower area, you see the completed south lawn. Now some of the features that we've actually constructed and operated. Next slide, please. Everybody's familiar with the iconic observation balloon. This is, again, an indicator of some of the operational excellence that we pursue. This is one of the safest balloon operations in the world, as consistently ranked by Aerophile. And it was originally intended by Ken Smith to be an observation balloon where we were able to monitor and observe the development of the Great Park from 400 feet. Next slide. This is one of our newer and more popular attractions, which is the Great Park Carousel. It's a rehabilitated carousel, which has been updated to reflect the Great Park theme. Next slide, please. Probably our single most popular attraction for our children is Kids Rock. This is a very unique feature not found anywhere else, which is constantly Thursday through Sunday inhabited by kids climbing up and throughout and around this feature that's near our new visitor center. The Palm Court Arts Complex, next slide please, is one of the highest quality rehabilitated historic facilities anywhere to be found to my knowledge. It's highly programmed and extremely popular. It's one of our most elegant design features. The 54 palm trees were gathered from 50 different locations throughout the state of California and imported in. It's highly activated, and we're quite proud of what goes on there, including, next slide please, the Palm Court Arts Gallery, where we have multiple exhibitions on a year-round basis, and there are some very interesting exhibitions going on out there right now. Next slide please, the Palm Court Arts Complex. The Artist Studios has been a favorite of some artists in residence. We've had a variety of different kinds of entertainment series and other kinds of residencies that have come through that program area. It's been temporarily reprogrammed for the Solar Decathlon and through March, and is currently a Maker's Depot, which is a part of our STEAM program that we're very proud of. Next slide, please. The historic Hangar 244, first hangar built in 1943. This is the original hangar in the Squadron Complex. It's been in service through multiple wars and conflicts up through until the base was closed. We were able to secure grant funding through the efforts of Senator Boxer, and we were successful in rehabilitating Hangar 244. It now represents a multi-purpose event center, and we hope to bring plans to the Great Park Board to convert this on a Thursday through Sunday basis to the Museum of Heritage and Aviation interim facility. Next slide, please. The terrace lawn is the introduction into the elegant landscape design that we will be bringing forward and have brought forward for the entire Western Sector Park Development Plan. We've been fortunate to have toured this area with 5 Points architects, and we all agree that these are the kinds of features that we see in the concept design package that's being proposed. Next slide, please, is the North Lawn multi-use recreational area. This is a real popular area, constantly programmed Thursday through Sunday, primarily in use by soccer teams and lacrosse teams. We have touch football and a variety of things that go on there. And this was the first introduction to the high quality of the sports and athletics fields that we've developed. Also, sustainable landscape architecture is a feature here. And the first permanent parking facility is also developed as a component of the North Lawn. Next slide, please. One of my favorite areas is the internationally recognized Farm and Food Lab. This is kind of a microcosm of a variety of the Great Park values in terms of health and wellness, education, urban agriculture, volunteerism. We celebrated over 10,000 hours of volunteerism from the UC Cooperative Extension Master Gardeners Program. That represents an exceptional partnership with our community. Next slide is a picture of the Giving Grove, which is interesting from a variety of perspectives, but it is the first citrus grove I'm aware of that's been constructed in Orange County in a generation. And this is kind of the reflective of a park with a heart. We grow citrus here and give that citrus out to the homeless community throughout Orange County. The Great Park Farm is the next slide, and that's an indicator of a leading-edge urban agriculture program that's managed by our farm partner, A.G. Kawamura, who's up there with our farm manager, manager of landscape and farming, Tom Larson. One of the most notable accomplishments out of that program is 1 million pounds of food has been donated to county food banks out of that operation. The Farmers Market is the next slide, which after just 2 years was ranked this year as the third best farmers market in Orange County, and we aspire to continue to program that and advance that to perhaps secure that top spot in a future year. Next slide is the festival site. That festival site came out of a vision a number of years ago about wanting to host major festivals and events. One of the first that we secured was the Cirque du Soleil. They had previously been at the Orange County Fairgrounds, and we're proud to have entered into a 10-year contract where the Cirque has visited once, and they are currently setting up for their second visit. We also host an antique market out there once monthly, and we do major events out there on a regular basis and use it for major event parking as well. Next slide begins to speak to some of the most elegant space that we've delivered to date, which is the South Lawn Sports and Fitness Complex. This is a look at the reflecting ponds and viewing pier, which is absolutely beautiful. And the next several slides will show some of the amenities that we've built in the South Lawn project and built to date. 4 tournament quality soccer fields. Next slide, please. It gives you an indicator of the high quality of the soccer fields that we've built and are actively being programmed as we speak, and some of the programs now are into next year already with reservations. We also introduced some basketball courts, which is the next slide. Those have become very popular in just a matter of a month or so. Next is the walkable historical timeline. This is an extension of the timeline from 750 feet to 2,604 feet and includes 162 significant historical events. It serves as a natural connection between the Great Park Balloon and the reflecting ponds. It's an extremely popular walking area already.
Quit stalling and get to the public hearing.
You betcha. Next in the sports lawn and fitness complex is some chess sets that we have. Kaiser Permanente Thrive Path is a partnership that we've done. Next slide, please. With Kaiser Permanente, which is a mile-long running and walking and jogging path. One One of the final features in the South Lawn I wanted to introduce is the Stormwater Management Plan, which is a plan of capture and reuse, which we changed from the original master plan, which is a infiltration system, and we now move to capture reuse, where we can irrigate up to 40% of our irrigation needs. The Visitor Center Pavilion is the next slide, which is the first physical construction, vertical construction on the project since inception. And then finally, the Visitor Support Center, which is a 2,500 square foot restroom and operations facility that supports our operations complex. And so, Mr. Mayor, that would conclude my presentation on built space and the master plan components. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
And I say this after reading the press reports and the audit summaries as well. And according to that, there's just one person who's responsible for a lot of that, and he's sitting to the far right over there. Not the far right, but sorry about that, Mayor.
You don't want to name names? Is that?
But, you know, there's $250 million that's gone. And, again, it's just been a catastrophic failure. So those are my feelings.